Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, November 24th, 2016. I'm Elrond Fraser with the details. In light of a leadership transition, two senior executive members of the opposition New Democratic Party say they remain united to carry the party forward to be the best choice for Vincentians to lead the country. Member of Parliament for the Northern Grenadines and newly appointed opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday, along with Member of Parliament for West Kingstown Daniel Cummings, were guests on this morning's Hits FM's Wake Up and Go morning program. When asked about claims which suggest that there may be internal bickering within the NDP as to who will be the next leader of the party, the West Kingstown MP Daniel Cummings passed off the claims as mere propaganda, which he said are being used to hide the apparent internal strife within the ruling Unity Labour Party.
You hit the nail on the head. Rumors. There's only one set of people.
So they're rumors.
That kind of rumors. You just look at the members of the New Democratic Party and see who we are, what we stand for. We are open, candid, democratic group. On the other hand, look at the other side. They are staging a coronation, which is creating a volcano inside the ULP.
A coronation.
A coronation, because they want to kick out the young Sobato Caesar and enthrone the deputy who is the son of the man who has stolen this election.
But I thought
they have their internal conflicts, and how they're doing it, how they're trying to overcome it, is by making it believe that we have conflict. We are a team of people.
So there are no conflict within the NDP.
Conflict. Look and see for yourself. Speak with any member of our team.
Meanwhile, newly appointed leader of the opposition, Dr. Godwin Friday, stated that he stands committed to serving the people of SVG to the best of his abilities. Dr. Friday gave the assurance that the party will continue to push for the development of SVG and will hold the government accountable to the people it serves.
It's something that I take very, very seriously, obviously, because it affects people's lives. It's not just a matter of a promotion for an individual. That is the smallest part of it. What people expect from me and from the New Democratic Party is we will deliver for them. And that is what I am committed to doing as a leader of the opposition. In the Parliament, we will hold the government accountable in its the way it's going forward, the way in which it spends the money of the people, the way in which it takes money from people, the way in which it conducts itself, and make sure that there is as much transparency as we can get in this present dispensation. I am committed to doing that. My colleagues have shown the confidence in me, and I will do everything in my power to live up to that confidence, but more importantly, to meet the expectations of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Dr. Friday added that he is determined to place emphasis on what he calls constructive politics as a means of uniting the people of SVG and taking the nation forward.
Well, let me tell you for myself, when I got involved in politics, it wasn't to serve one set of people and not serve some others. You know, it's not just to serve people who support me in the election and to ignore those people who didn't. We in this country, we are a small country, 110,000 people, if you count everybody standing up. And we can't afford to have a politics where it becomes so divisive that after the election, the country can't come together. We have to go back to a constructive politics. You have to focus not on party and on candidates. You have to focus on people. That is what, if you focus on people, then you can't be divisive, you can't be destructive. All this stuff that people throw at you, you just ignore them, or you counter them by, dealing with a more positive and constructive approach. That's what we want to do.
This country has made vast strides in the global fight against AIDS. This was noted earlier today at the launch of activities to be held in commemoration of World AIDS Day 2016, which is guided under the theme, Take the Challenge, End AIDS. Epidemiologist in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Tamara Bob, stated that challenges still persist in the fight against the disease.
The first target is a 50% reduction in new HIV infections. The second target speaks to 90% of persons living with HIV receiving continuous care, treatment, and support. This second target is closely aligned with targets set by the Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS, geared at ending the AIDS epidemic as a global public health threat. The targets outlined by this UNAIDS program are: 1. 90% of HIV-infected people aware of their status. 2. 90% of known positives receiving antiretroviral treatment. And 3. 90% of that group of persons living with HIV and on antiretroviral treatment having viral suppression, that is, HIV in the bloodstream down to undetectable levels.
Bob, however, noted that over the years, the fight against HIV/AIDS has seen some positive results, which is worth highlighting.
Within the last 10 years, there has been a 34.7% reduction in the incidence of HIV. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is also close to achieving the 90% universal target for full antiretroviral treatment coverage for HIV, with 84% of all known positives receiving sustained antiretroviral treatment. While we register these gains, however, we should be mindful that there still remains the challenge of discontinuation of treatment by people living with HIV/AIDS, with 20% of people living with HIV/AIDS discontinuing treatment within the first 12 months of initiation.
Echoing the continued fight against the disease, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment Luke Brown urged persons not to lose sight of the goal ahead in this global initiative.
And by now, we're very familiar with the fact that the fight against AIDS is a multi-pronged fight. We don't just fight it in one particular way. We fight it by trying to see if we could prevent children from inheriting, so to speak, this problem from their parents. We fight it by proposing and supporting and promoting lifestyles that will place individual Vincentians at less risk of contracting this disease. We fight it by making sure that those who are living with it have medications and other supplies that will make their lives as comfortable as possible, that they're provided with the counseling, and I see that representatives of our ministry involved in family planning and the counseling element are here, because these are important aspects of our fight.
The health minister highlighted the strides this country has made and announced his commitment for even greater achievements.
We resolved a long time ago that we will fight the HIV/AIDS epidemic tooth and nail. And as a result of that strong resolve, and no doubt through important international partnerships, we have been able to make great progress over the years. We've made progress, and it has been reported from time to time already that we have effectively eliminated the mother-to-child transmission of HIV, AIDS, and syphilis, and we want to build on those gains. The process of validation is ongoing, and I look forward to that process being brought to a conclusion so that we could officially herald that achievement. But there's a lot more work to be done. We have many more challenges down this road. In fact, the enduring fact of life is that as we overcome a particular challenge, we find ourselves confronted by another challenge.
Motorists on the windward side of the island traveling to and from capital Kingstown can now breathe a sigh of relief as an alternative route has been created to make the journey much shorter. Minister of Transport and Works Senator Julian Francis told SVG-TV News that from 7 p.m. the old Argyle Road will be reopened to vehicular traffic.
That is the old Argyle Road at the bottom that we had closed off because of the storm damage. And I spoke to you about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and said that in 2 weeks' time we'll have it reopened. Well, we are reopening that road tonight at 7 o'clock. We're just doing the finishing touches, and you can have a comfortable drive once more. It will mean the detour through the Marico Valley is ended, and all persons coming into the city or coming south from north can now use the Argyle Ring Road. That is the one you enter at Moncook, coming from town, Moncook Church, turn right, and onto the southern end of the runway. That is the Argyle International Airport runway, and travel along the sea road back to the Peruvian Vale School. So the barrier at Peruvian Vale School gap will be removed at 7 o'clock tonight.
Minister Francis called on all motorists, particularly minibus operators, to exercise extreme caution when using the Argyle Old Road.
There. I want to warn motorists and particularly van drivers that it is a very tempting piece of road, and I want you to drive carefully and cautiously. There's still some slicks here and there because at this moment we're still removing some mud. So I want us to drive very carefully. And those who don't know the road, be careful with it. There is a particularly narrow area at where the persons live at Mount Pleasant, at Raroku area. And I want us to approach, coming from town and going to town, that area very cautiously. It narrows and 2 vehicles can pass, but we have to take our time and be always on our hand. So the torture of the detour through Peruvian Vale, Mespo Calder is over from 7 o'clock tonight. Please don't try to come before 7 because the barrier will not be removed until 7 o'clock.
Member of Parliament for Central Kingstown and Vice President of the opposition New Democratic Party, Major Sinclair Leacock, says all aspects of crime fighting must be carefully assessed to be effective. In an earlier interview with SVG-TV News, Leacock expressed his concerns over the hike in crime and violence in the country and said more strategic measures must be put in place to curb the issue.
We have to look at all facets and aspects of what is causing increased crime. Is it joblessness? Is it that people are abandoning hope? Is it that people want the get rich quick mentality? Is it an increase in drug culture? Is it that we are losing our sense of humanity? Is it that the churches need to do more work? Is it that a consequence of the political divide? Or any combination of all that I've raised and others that I have not raised? Whatever it is, we have to do more to get to the bottom of our crime situation. And our police force clearly has its work cut out.
Leacock, who also has vast experience in law enforcement, added that more opportunities must be created for police officers to assist them in crime fighting. We have to do more as politicians to create more opportunities for those who want work and can work, because you know the saying, you find work for idle land, they'll find work for idle hands. And we have to try to dissuade a lot of our young people from the path in which they're taking and show them that there's an alternative way in which they can make good, decent living and useful use of their lives. So this is work in progress that we have to do. I'm on record that of what I spoke about called the Constituency Development Fund. I feel even stronger about it now. We are virtually at the end of another budgetary year. If I walk through my constituency or drive through, it's dilapidated. It is worse than it was in January. Nothing is happening for the young men on the blocks. In some cases, you can see how our young women are exposed and are becoming more and more vulnerable. The opposition MP said that he strongly believes recruitment of police officers should be reduced to a younger age, which he said will allow for the development of a much seasoned career within law enforcement. It allows a more independent and professional group of people to immerse themselves in policing. And we have to learn to support the police force as well in terms of the way they live, the quarters, the transportation system, the scientific tools that should be at their disposal to do patrols and so on and so forth, and encourage on the whole community policing. You know, let's give the government some credit. There are some areas in which the government has reached the police in terms of the barracks and the transportation systems and the dress code and so on and so forth. All important things, but we have to address the core things that make policemen better at what they do, and that is the quality of training, the quality of people who are recruited into the police force, and the independence of the police force to go about and to do the work without let or hindrance. A former police constable Hare has been sentenced to 6 months behind bars after he was convicted on 3 separate charges of deception. The sentence was handed down to Elrond Lewis by Chief Magistrate Rayshon Brown at the Serious Offences Court in Kingstown. Lewis was accused of depriving Kenneth Peters of Lomans Windward of the sum of $1,130 between September 9th and November 20th of 2015. Before imposing the sentence, Senior Court Prosecutor Adolphus Delplesh told the magistrate that the officer betrayed the trust given to him and the court should impose a sentence which will reflect the gravity of the crime. In addition to the 6-month jail sentence, Lewis was also ordered to pay compensation to Peters. In default, he will face additional time behind bars. He is expected to be back in court in January 2017 to answer to several other charges of a similar nature. A number of tertiary level students have heeded the call to get involved with technology and app development, and today at the NIS training room, some of them were showcasing their creativity through the preliminary stage of the NCRC I2 Ideas and Innovation Competition. The competition, which is the brainchild of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NCRC, seeks to challenge students from both secondary and tertiary levels to develop and present projects in the form of ideas and mobile applications that can implement new systems or improve existing ones for businesses in the private and public sectors here. One student of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College Division of Teacher Education, Shikania Small, sought to ease the hassle of job hunting through her app idea, fittingly named Your Network.
My idea is basically a place where potential employers and job seekers can meet one place in order to connect. So, for example, some job applicants, they may not know where to start, they may not know where to apply for a job, getting the minimum requirements and so on. And even for the potential employers, for example, making sure that they get the best in terms of personnel. So my app is hoping I will be able to fulfill all those.
When asked about the motivation and importance of her app, Small said job hunting is a constant struggle that spans across the board in this country.
When you go around, you would hear young people saying that they can't find a job, it's difficult for them. And even from my own personal experience, because when I wanted to apply for the government service, I didn't know where to start. So if there was an app like this available where the job postings could be seen and I could know what the requirements are, then I could actually have a start. I could actually know where to start in terms of finding a job.
The Your Network founder said she welcomes the NTRC's I2 competition as it creates a platform for the development of future entrepreneurs.
I think it's fantastic because right now we're becoming more and more digital as the case is, and where a lot of creativity could be induced in our young people by means of forums like this. It's absolutely fantastic, and the ideas that we have, they could even compete on an international market. So I think it's an excellent opportunity, especially for young people, to be involved in programs like these, because they could actually get their ideas heard and develop hopefully in the future.
Meantime, judges Ronette Lewis, Business Incubator Manager in the National Center of Technological Innovation and Managing Director of MAVCOM, Paul Morris, expressed satisfaction with the students' presentations, noting that they were all relevant to the needs of the Vincentian community.
Based on the presentations this morning, I thought that the students did a reasonably good job. They represented themselves and presented themselves well. We are encouraged in both the private and public sector when we see our young people being creative and innovative. So we are encouraging, and also we are behind their success and their development. So we anticipate that the other presenters to come today would be of the same standard. So generally I would say that it's encouraging to see young people being creative and innovative towards the development of entrepreneurship in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I have judged from the inception the ideas, good ideas persons are thinking, and that is good. The exposure is good, and I have seen persons develop through the competition. In this year, though, some of the ideas needed a little bit more research, more work. And we have had at least 2 very good presentations showing evidence of thought, of research, and excellent delivery.
Jamari Warren and Juliana Doyle were the center of attraction earlier today as parents, teachers, and well-wishers gathered to celebrate the students' progress at the Helping Hand Center's second graduation ceremony. Speaking at this morning's ceremony, coordinator of the Helping Hand Center, Anish John Daisy, expressed her pride in the students' development, noting that they have shown great progress in their academic abilities and commended the teachers on their patience and perseverance.
It's not an easy job. It's very challenging because sometimes you have children with behavior issues, and if your heart is not in it, you will have a real tough time. To be able to take on such a tough job, you have to have the desire, the patience, and prepare to go the extra mile. Also to think and plan so that in order for them to accomplish their goals. The staff were able to do such, to set goals and objectives for Juliana and Jamari based on their abilities in all the skill areas, because you know that you must work the whole child, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, and most important, spiritually.
President of the Helping Hand Center, Junior Brackus, expressed his confidence in the students as they continue their academic journey.
We are seeing the continuing progress that is being made with these children. Over 20 years ago, when we got this program started, it was a time when most parents will try to hide away from the public a child that may be autistic or may be suffering from cerebral palsy or any other challenge. I consider that all of us in some way have some level of disability. Today I am here and you notice all these bandages. I have a disability. But as we say in these circles, disability is not inability. And we are very happy that we have these 2 young people who have made significant progress to get us this far.
In addition to receiving their certificates, the students received gifts from the Soroptimist International and the Mustique Charitable Trust, who also expressed their pride in the students' progress.
On behalf of Jamari and myself, we thank God, our parents, teachers, and all who supported us to reach this far. We will do our best in our youth school.
After being rushed to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital yesterday afternoon with injuries sustained from a vehicular accident, SVG-TV News understands that one of the 2 students who were injured has since been discharged, while the other is still hospitalized with a dislocated hip. According to reports, the 2 students, 9-year-old Israel Cumberbatch and 11-year-old Alpha James, were crossing the road in the Mahogany Square area after being signaled by a police officer when a truck, TL-258, owned by Edison James of Lomans Windward and driven by Adolph Stevens of Prospect, struck them. Preliminary investigations concluded that the incident was caused by brake failure.